everyone, this is Scott Sutherland. Now, normally I don't talk in my videos, but now, extra special treat, you get me talking! A long time ago, I actually kind of asked for some questions, and I thought I was going to do a Q&A video, and then I didn't, and then quarantine hit, and then I had no excuse, so here is my Ask Me Anything. Nathan from Patreon asked, how can you tell if your instrument is holding you back, either because it's not a pro level instrument or otherwise? Hey Nathan, thank you so much for submitting that question. I have struggled with that for a very long time. And what I have determined is that I like to keep up with what's around me. What other instruments are out there, and do I actually sound significantly better on another instrument? The other thing to think about is the things that are different about, that you can play a little bit better on one instrument versus another. Is that just a practice thing? Is that just something you should be dedicating some time to? Or does the instrument actually help out? The one thing I would say that really makes a difference on an instrument is intonation. If the intonation is really squirrely on your current instrument, I would consider maybe upgrading. Andrew Deaton from YouTube asked, what was your inspiration to play the tuba? How was I inspired to play the tuba? I didn't actually choose it. My band director chose it for me. And so I was kind of forced into it initially, but then I fell in love with it. And then I found a private teacher, Norm Pearson of the LA Philharmonic, and he inspired me to pursue an orchestral career. I looked up to him so much. I went to concerts, and it was truly inspiring. And then I went to school and studied with Tommy Johnson, #1 studio musician on the tuba, and that inspired me to pursue lots of different facets of the music industry. And between those guys, I was truly inspired to pursue tuba as a career. CMD1068 from Instagram asked, I'm a freshman in college. Well, that was 41 weeks ago. I'm a sophomore in college. Should I start playing a C tuba or keep playing a B-flat tuba? B-flat versus C. It is the eternal tuba question. Now, my personal opinion on this, it depends on your career goals. If you are looking to become a professional on the tuba, I would definitely say a C tuba should be in your future. It's definitely the standard for the professional world. If what you're going to be doing is studying music in college, but don't have aspirations to actually make music a profession after college, I think a B-flat tuba is great. There's some really wonderful B-flat tubas out there. Vice Hazley from YouTube asked, did you ever do marching band? Did I ever do marching band? Oh yeah. Okay, so I started out in middle school. I was a drum major for my middle school marching band. Then I went to high school. I did it for all 4 years. 3 of those, I was the drum major at my high school. All 3 of those, I was also the lead drum major for the All-City, Los Angeles All-City Honor Band that marches in the Rose Parade. Then I did 1 year with the USC Marching Band. Fight on, Trojans, yeah! So yeah, I definitely did marching band. It's in my blood. Braden Held from YouTube asked, my biggest problems have always been with slurring through the lower harmonics, mostly in scales. It's close, but not chip-free yet. If you could share any practice tips for this, I'd appreciate it. Awesome question, Braden. There are 3 things that I like to keep in mind when I'm working on pitch accuracy, avoiding chips and flow. First one is making sure that I can hear the pitch, and I have a good concept of what that sound is supposed to be like, my ideal sound and the pitch. Number 2, I like mouthpiece buzzing. I like that connection of what I'm hearing and going to the chops and making sure that those 2 things are communicating. And then number 3, if I can hear it and it can translate to the mouthpiece, I slur with a flutter tongue. All right, like rolling your R's in Spanish. All right, I like doing that to ensure that I have good flow going from note to note. Zach Hush from YouTube asked, how long did it take you to learn the tuba? Zach, to be honest, I am still learning the tuba. And there's a lot of days that I feel like I gave it my best and the tuba still won. Lil Levinet from YouTube, I think I said that right, Any tips on how to improve flow when triple, double tonguing other than solid air? Thanks. Great question. To be totally honest, multiple tonguing never came naturally to me. I always had to work on it. If there was one thing that really stood out in my development of multiple tonguing that really kind of helped me in that path, it was focusing on the back of the tongue and doing exercises just with the back of the tongue, but with nice flow. Nothing choppy or over articulated. Go 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 go. Nice and flowing, and just with the back of the tongue, so that you're developing that coordination just as much as you've always for years developed that front of the tongue. Robert Shep from YouTube asked, "Will you donate a tuba to me?" No. VMS Band Orc asked, "What does your practice schedule look like?" So my practice schedule is usually an hour, 2 hours, and sometimes even up to 3 hours a day. If I am preparing for a big solo event or like a recital or a concerto, or I am preparing for an audition, then I'm definitely getting 3 hours in. My first hour is always fundamentals. It's a good warm-up. The second hour is often etudes of some sort, different studies to kind of get my musical chops in shape, and then that last hour is solo repertoire or excerpts and that sort of thing. Corbin Scott from YouTube asked, "Who taught you?" Didn't you pay attention when I answered this just a little bit ago? Come on, Corbin! Between Tommy Johnson in college, both my master's degree and my bachelor's degree, and Norm Pearson in high school, I had two of the most phenomenal teachers on the instrument I could have ever dreamed to have. Both were wonderful role models for me and absolutely inspirational for my pursuit of an orchestral career. Andy H. from YouTube asks, "What was the first instrument you learned to play?" The first instrument I learned to play was piano. I learned it in, I was 8 years old, and I took lessons for about 5 years, and then after that I kind of dabbled on my own. Shortly after starting on piano, I started out on trombone with my dad. He had a trombone in the house because he played in high school and college and some afterwards. And I got to play for a year in my elementary school band. And then they cut the elementary school band. And then I got to go to school at a middle school, which had a band program, and then they cut the middle school band program. But then I got to high school, played trombone for a year, I played baritone for a year, and that's when my high school band director in my 11th grade year switched me over to tuba. Well, that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much to everyone who participated by submitting a question. If you like this, let me know. All right, comment down below, give me a like, and let me know what you thought of this. Do you want this again? Do you want more questions? And if you have more questions, then leave them also below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.